Gold-backed BRICS could destabilize the dollar. U.S. government selling Silk Road Bitcoin. LBRY loses case with the SEC while XRP wins their case with the SEC. Sort of. AnetaBTC mainnet launch has been delayed. Alephium releases new desktop wallet, and Ice River drops the price of the KSO. All that and more on today's episode of Blocks, your one-stop shop for all cryptocurrency news as quickly as possible from the perspective of a cryptocurrency miner. Let's go ahead and get into it. In an upcoming summit, the BRICS Alliance will meet to discuss the creation of a new currency that will change or challenge the dominance of the US dollar. This next summit will be held in South Africa, and if a new rival currency is established, it could potentially cause hardships for the American economy if it gains the trust of international markets. Author turned analyst Robert Kiyosaki, famous for his book Rich Dad Poor Dad, predicts that the US dollar will die once BRICS launches its new currency. Kiyosaki believes that if the BRICS currency is backed by gold, the global decline of the US dollar will begin. Russia has already confirmed that the BRICS currency will indeed be backed by gold. By returning to the gold standard form of reserves and ending reliance on the US dollar, this move could put the American currency under pressure and limit its ability to fund its deficit. Though the supply and demand dynamics currently favor the US dollar, this could take a turn if the BRICS launch their new currency. Kiyosaki, in a recent Twitter post, predicted that on August 22nd, 2023 in Johannesburg, South Africa, the BRICS nations will announce a gold-backed cryptocurrency leading to the demise of the US dollar. He warns that trillions of US dollars will flow back into the country, causing inflation to skyrocket. Kiyosaki advises investing in gold, silver, and predicts that Bitcoin will reach $120,000 the following year. However, the launch of a new currency poses its own challenges. India, for instance, has hinted that it may not be fully on board with the idea, as it wants to focus on strengthening its own native currency, the rupee, rather than adopting another currency. The US government has made significant moves involving Bitcoin linked to the infamous Silk Road case. Let's dive into the details. According to on-chain data, two wallets associated with the US government and tied to the Silk Road seizure of cryptocurrency have moved a staggering $300 million worth of Bitcoin. These transactions took place on Wednesday morning, and it's quite a significant move in the crypto world. Following the transfer, the price of Bitcoin experienced a slight dip of 0.8%, bringing it down to $30,480 US. However, as of press time, the price has already recovered to $30,660. Looking closer at the blockchain, we can see that these government-controlled wallets sent a total of 9,825 Bitcoins, which amount to approximately $301 million US. That's a substantial sum. Interestingly, it is not the first time these wallets have made significant transfers. Back in March, one of these wallets sent over $1 billion US in Bitcoin, causing a significant market slump across all major cryptocurrencies. We can only speculate on the reasons behind the recent transactions. It is possible that the US government is liquidating the seized assets from the Silk Road case, or perhaps using the cryptocurrencies for other purposes. Whatever the reasons may be, it is clear that this move has caught the attention of the crypto community. As always, it's essential to keep an eye on how such large-scale transactions impact the market. It's fascinating to see how the blockchain provides transparency in these government-related movements. A federal judge has ruled that LBRY Incorporated is liable for violating U.S. securities law, which has caused the LBRY token to plummet by nearly 18% today. The company behind the LBRY protocol has been ordered to cease offering unregistered securities unless it registers with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. Furthermore, LBRY Incorporated has been fined $111,614 US, and they have 30 days to pay the fine. In response to the court's order, the LBRY team has announced that they will be winding down LBRY Incorporated entirely in the coming months. However, it's important to note that the SEC never saw a complete shutdown of the project. Their aim was for the project to refrain from any unregistered securities offerings, return any profits from those activities, and pay civil penalties. During the litigation process, the SEC pointed out LBRY's explicit publications on their website where they offered LBC token to financially support their operations. These tokens were available on both their protocol and secondary markets. The recent resolution of the case did not mention sales on secondary markets, and it does not explicitly label LBC tokens as securities. This means that the judgment does not dictate whether or not LBC is considered a security. In November of last year, Judge Paul J. Barbadoro ruled against LBRY, stating that there was no reasonable dispute regarding the SEC's claims. Following this ruling, LBRY announced their loss in the case. Shortly after yesterday's resolution, Jeremy Kauffman, the CEO of LBRY, posted on Twitter claiming he has always wanted to follow the law and that no one can tell him what is allowed and what is not allowed. LBRY boasts an impressive network of 30 million pieces of content, 1.7 million on-chain identities, quality open source code, and support from well-known creators. They also claim to have clear regulatory standing, second only to Bitcoin and Ethereum. We have an important update on the ongoing legal battle between Ripple Labs and the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. Brace yourselves because it's a ruling that's sure to make waves in the cryptocurrency world. Judge Torres stated that the XRP token in and of itself is not inherently a security. She found that programmatic sales to the public and XRP distributed to Ripple Labs employees were not considered the sale of unregistered securities. However, she did not address the secondary market sales of XRP on cryptocurrency exchanges. Now, here's where things get really interesting. The judge concluded that $728 million worth of contracts for institutional sales did constitute the sale of unregistered securities. These investors were under the impression that they would profit from Ripple's efforts. In her ruling, Judge Torres explained, quote, "Therefore, having considered the economic reality and totality of circumstances surrounding the institutional sales, the court concludes that Ripple's institutional sales of XRP constituted the unregistered offer and sale of investment contracts in violation of Section 5 of the Securities Act," end quote. Let's shift gears for a moment and remind ourselves of Ripple Labs' mission. This tech company was created to facilitate quick and low-cost money transfers for banks and financial institutions. Since 2020, Ripple Labs, along with its CEO Bradley Garlinghouse and executive chairman Christian Larson, has been locked in a legal dispute with the SEC. The SEC alleged that Ripple misled investors by raising $1.3 billion through unregistered securities offerings dating back to 2013. While the ruling provided some clarity on the classification of the XRP token, it's important to note that the court only addressed the institutional sales and not the activities on cryptocurrency exchanges. This ruling is sure to have significant implications for Ripple Labs, the cryptocurrency industry, and the wider regulatory landscape surrounding digital assets. Bittensor proposal number 2 has successfully passed, which means a few changes will be implemented as of today, Thursday, July 13th, 2023 at 11 a.m. Firstly, subnet 11 will experience an increase in emission going from 0 tau a day to a whopping 512 tau a day. This change aims to enhance the functionality of subnet 11. On the other hand, subnet 1 will witness a decrease in emission going from 7,200 tau a day to 6,688 tau a day. This reduction is intended for optimization purposes within subnet 1. Lastly, subnet 21 will remain unaffected with emission levels staying at the same of 0 tau a day. For those of you wondering which branch to utilize for subnet 11 and subnet 1, you'll need to be on the main open validators branch, specifically version 1.1.1. However, it's essential to first pull the latest main branch with a git pull to ensure you have the necessary fixes that enable the smooth operation of subnet 11. In terms of GPU requirements, subnet 11 will have the same GPU requirements as subnet 1. They do recommend running a separate GPU for each subnet to avoid potential out-of-memory errors. Please note that optimizing this particular aspect is currently on their agenda. To specify the subnet you wish to run, you can refer to the documentation which outlines the instructions in a manner similar to subnet 1. I'll leave posts down in the description. For subnet 11, you simply need to specify the net UID of 11, and for 21, the net UID of 21. However, please be aware that subnet 21 currently has limited miners. Thus, running a validator on this subnet may be challenging and prone to errors. I will update you on any developments concerning this matter as the devs post about it. Moving on, let's get an overview of the latest version of Alephium Desktop Wallet version 2.1.0. This update comes with some exciting new features, bug fixes, and contributions from the community. First up, let's talk about the new features that have been added to the wallet. With version 2.1.0, you can now display tokens metadata, which will provide you with the detailed information about the tokens you own. Additionally, the wallet now supports the display of NFTs, allowing you to easily manage and monitor your NFT assets. Another notable addition is the inclusion of fiat currency options in the settings. This means you can now view your wallet balance and transactions in your preferred fiat currency, providing you with a more convenient way to track your finances. In terms of functionality, the developers have introduced experimental SOCKS 5 proxy support. This can be useful if you want to route your wallet's network traffic through a SOCKS 5 proxy for enhanced privacy and security. Furthermore, the team has also included a testnet faucet, which allows you to obtain testnet coins for development and testing purposes. This can be particularly helpful if you are a developer looking to experiment with the Alephium network. Moving on to bug fixes, version 2.1.0 addresses several issues that users have reported. For instance, the historic worth chart has been fixed after address discovery, ensuring accurate representation of your asset history. The app spinner has been repositioned on top of side modal for better user experience. A bug related to the display of 6-digit lock time year has been resolved, and the displayed currency in the addresses list will be corrected. The assets list modal has also been fixed, improving the experience while using the Alephium desktop wallet. It's worth mentioning that the community has played a significant role in improving this version of the wallet. Translations in Russian, Vietnamese, and Indonesia have been updated. Additionally, a fix for the Linux window icon path has been made by the user 0xjack. The wallet's translation in other languages other than English will now display a disclaimer, and an explanation about UTXO dust amounts has been added. In terms of technical enhancements, the team has simplified and updated the NIX package, providing better package management. They have also relied more on Alephium Web3 package instead of the Alephium SDK, which will lead to improved performance and stability. AnetaBTC has delayed their mainnet launch due to performance issues. Originally slated for a release on July 7th, it was clear something went wrong on the 8th when they tweeted, quote, "Thanks for the patience, planning to release final testnet in the next couple of hours, followed by mainnet launch. We'll continue to update you on the progress," end quote. After which the account went silent until today, July 13th, when they announced, quote, "We have found some performance issues before going live that required us to make back-end modifications. Changes have been successfully implemented and we are testing all changes. We'll be rescheduling the mainnet release date. Thanks to our community for your patience," end quote. While the specifics are unclear, it does appear the team is working on a mainnet launch. Hopefully they do a better job at communicating issues in a timely manner on their Twitter and Discord in the future. Finally, Ice River has dropped the price on the KSO to $899 US. At the time of publication, the KSO makes $25 per day after 10 cents per kilowatt hour, making the ROI just over 1 month. However, it is important to note that Bitmain ASICs will be launching in August to September timeframe. Third-party retailers have confirmed at least 5,000 of the Antminer KS3s, meaning an increase in difficulty of 41x. This would bring the profitability of the KSO down to a mere 42 cents per day. Seeing that shipping dates are not until the first week of August for the KSO, it is advised to use extreme caution when considering the KSO as an investment. Thanks everybody for watching this episode of Blocks. Be sure to hit the like, comment, subscribe, and notification bells down below. Check out my crypto mining e-course over at sonofatech.com. And for my daily moves, check out sonofatech.locals.com. I will see you next Tuesday.